Welcome to the Freedom Founder Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Duggar. And I've said this before, but it is indicated that a lot of the world's wealthiest people have developed that wealth through real estate investing. And I have with me a guest who is finding his own path in real estate investing. Jim Lee started in the area of inside sales with LoopNet and Costar, and he became a realtor and found that his own journey in real estate investing was beginning, and he shifted into multifamily syndication, where he is now currently operating 100% of his time. And he is a partner, a general partner, a limited partner, and over 600 units in the past 2 years. So, welcome, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Zach.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me this evening. Now, I wanted to ask you first thing, one of the things that people say when they're thinking about going into entrepreneurship is that there's this fear, this hindrance that they feel. But at the same time, there's this desire, this kind of desire that's there. How do you overcome that fear and follow that desire? What was it for you that led you to ending or to quitting your W-2 job and taking that leap into the next step?
I think for me personally, because of the amount of W-2 jobs I had over the years, I think I had a total of three of them, and I was laid off from all three of them. After being laid off the first one, I realized that there's no stability behind it, right? Anybody can get laid off no matter
Yep.
what, even with the amount of time, effort, energy you put towards building the business.
Right.
And that's when I kind of started to educate myself about real estate investing, the importance of having multiple stream of income. and
Yep.
and then from there, I kind of just decided, what, I gotta have some passive income on the side. And that's when I started investing in real estate. And once I
Yep.
got that first passive income, that's when I was pretty hooked and wanted to start my own venture as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Absolutely. So that experience of being laid off and realizing that there isn't that stability or security that exists in paving your own path. That makes sense. Now, it doesn't always exist in our own path, but at least we have that control over it, right?
Right.
Well, okay. So in real estate, you started off as a realtor, and then you did shift over into becoming a syndicator. Talk about that process of becoming a realtor and what you learned during that time and why you ultimately decided to move into multifamily syndication.
Sure. So a lot of to unpack there. So I became a realtor after the jobs I refer to, my W-2 jobs.
Yep.
So reason why I got into becoming a real estate agent is because I thought I can find my own deals and also make a career out of it. What I didn't know is that I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because I come from an inside
Hmm.
sales background.
Okay.
Working at LoopNet, which is, for those that don't know, it's Zillow for commercial real estate. And all I did
Yep.
was just make phone calls, collect credit cards over the phone, didn't have to meet people face to face. Whereas once I transitioned to become a realtor, that was, the biggest challenge I had to overcome. And
Right.
because I basically just took what I learned in the corporate world, and I took that with me to build my real estate career. And it didn't work out just by making phone calls in my office.
Right.
So that was the big lesson, big transition. And how I got into syndication is just, during lockdown, there wasn't anything that I can do as a realtor. Usually we host open house to
Yep.
get leads. And so I decided to explore other options to make money with real estate. And that's how I came across syndication.
Okay. All right. Now, you're one of the things that you indicate, that I know, is that your personal investing journey comes from a mentality of just being a saver, just saving up funds over time. How do you change that mindset and use leverage to your advantage to be able to invest in real estate?
Yeah, so you brought up a good point. I was born and raised in Taiwan.
Okay.
with a saver's mentality. In Asian culture, we've been taught if you can't pay for something in cash, you can't afford it. So
Okay.
in our mind, debt is slavery and cash is freedom,
Yeah.
which this philosophy runs counter to heavy debt um, and consumerism culture in America. And so it was a bit of a mindset shift, like you mentioned. And
Yeah.
what it took for me, it was just by taking action and educating myself, right? So
Right.
after I worked at LoopNet, I acquired my first two-bedroom, one-bathroom condo
Okay.
using all cash offer to purchase a short sale. After acquiring it, that's when I started to educate myself by reading, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, one of
Okay.
the biggest
Yep.
finance book out there. And in the
Definitely.
book, he talks about borrow, borrow, borrow. Why would you not ever borrow and leverage? And that's when I educated myself, and I figured, oh man, all my money's stuck in this condo that I purchased,
Mm, sure.
and
Yep.
there's no way for me to pull that cash out. And and I finally understand how leverage is able to amplify your returns. Not only that, it provides tax benefits and so forth. So it all just takes education. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Leverage, working with financing from banks or otherwise can definitely create the opportunity to be able to get into investments you would not otherwise be able to. Now, it's good to make a point here that it is important to be mindful of not becoming over leveraged and just being cautious about the investing that people are doing. So, um, I wanted to make sure that I emphasize that because some people do get nervous about being over leveraged and problems in the banking industry and financing world. But at the same time, if you do only do on a cash go on a cash basis, then like you said, you don't have that ability to continue to grow and expand beyond what your current means allow you to do. And there's just such a unique opportunity when you're basically your mortgage, your financing, the lending that's done on that property is being paid by the tenants in that space, and you're essentially not paying no longer. You're not paying down on that debt anymore yourself because other people are. So it's a cool opportunity.
Absolutely, and to add on to that, it's just, people just have to realize there's good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
Good debt is exactly what you just described. Bad debt is credit card bills, right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
interest rate goes up to 20%. You have to pay those off first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just pulling you down.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for emphasizing that as well. Now, you
Mhm.
mentioned you're from Taiwan and also that you've traveled extensively throughout the world. Different places in the world, different cultures are different things that you learn from being in those areas.
Mhm.
On top of that, savers mentality and having to go through a mindset shift, what type of lessons have you learned about that you're applying to being the entrepreneur you are today from the different parts of the world that you've traveled?
I would say one of the biggest trait is having respect. When you travel to another country, you have to show respect to the people, the place, the culture. Just because one culture may see different or odd to me, but it's completely normal to them. That's
Hmm.
just something that I have to keep in mind. That's what traveling has taught me.
Okay.
And how this relates to being an entrepreneur is that you have to be respectful as an entrepreneur, right? Respect your client,
Yeah.
your business. um, and there's a lot of respect that comes along with being a business owner. You have to be respected as well. So
Hmm.
respect your client no matter how much they disagree with you.
Yeah.
If they don't believe what you're saying, you have to respectfully accept that. So
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I think
mhm,
that's important. As an entrepreneur, you want to show the respect that you would like to receive from others. I think that's a key factor. And then
mhm.
being in different places throughout the country, throughout the world, there are different differences in how those cultures operate. And so learning to respect that, I think, key lesson learned. That's awesome.
Yeah, if I may add one more,
Yeah.
humility, just the sense of being humble. I think
Yeah.
we're blessed with a lot here. As a business
Hmm.
owner, we always have to be learning and growing. By staying humble, I'm more likely to consider others' beliefs and
Hmm.
opinions, right? And vice versa. If I was close-minded, close to my own thinking and belief, I wouldn't be doing. I would be doing myself a disfavor because I won't learn as much. So that's just
Yeah.
something I
Yeah.
want to
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
add.
humility and being humble in regards to just how you operate in life can keep certain doors open that otherwise may be closed, because some people are not going to work with somebody who is not humble and braggadocious about things in their life. So
Yeah.
that's a very, very cool characteristic that you carry and portray.
Mhm.
Now, you're doing the multifamily syndication full time. The name of your company is Formosa Investing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, tell me about that name. Where does that come from?
So Formosa investing, Formosa, the word Formosa,
Hmm.
back in 1500 when Taiwan was even discovered, the island called Taiwan, the Portuguese named it when they discovered it. They named it Formosa, which means the
Yeah.
beautiful island. And so ever since then, Taiwanese took that as something they're
Hmm.
prideful of. And so
Yeah.
as soon as Taiwanese sees my logo or my name, they
Hmm.
automatically know that I'm Taiwanese. So
Okay.
it's yeah. So that's my brand. That's my niche, Taiwanese
Yeah.
investor.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I can kind of make that connection, that immediate connection,
Mhm.
and also something to be proud of as well. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay. Great. And then in regards to that, so now you've been a part of um, 600 units. Are you currently working on any new projects? I imagine that you're always working on new projects as you are part of the multifamily syndication world.
Yeah. Currently, I am working on finishing up syndicating my second deal.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and
Awesome.
it's in Jacksonville, Florida, and 382 units apartment
Awesome.
building. So
That's great. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. All right. And then, so are you focused on specific markets yourself in regards to real estate investing?
When it comes to syndication, right now I'm
Hmm.
heavily focused on Florida.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Excellent. Can anyone throughout the country or even throughout the world work with you as an investor?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it just depends on what type of raise that we're doing. So there's
Yeah.
something called the 506B and 506C.
Hmm.
And what that entails is that 506B, you basically cannot advertise. You
Okay.
can't put it on social media and so forth.
Yep.
And 506C you can.
Okay.
But when you can advertise, you can only accept accredited investors, and accredited
Oh, okay.
investors are people who made a million, who has a net worth of $1 million, or who's made $200,000 two consecutive years in the past 2 years.
Okay. All right. Oh, so
Mhm.
that creates some good opportunities then for people who either have that relationship with you, have known you for a while, um, and that 506B, and then or those individuals that are kind of you've been able to advertise in some circumstances and can get to know you and get to see that opportunity that you have available. So
Mhm.
international investing as well. So, I mean, the individuals who live in a country outside of the United States, is that an option? I've always wondered about that.
Yes, it is. I have some international investors investing right now. My
Awesome.
my uncle's in part of my deal.
Okay. Oh, cool. All
Mhm.
right. That's really cool because it does expand the area that you're able to serve, the people that you're able to work with. 'Cause I view this as a service business, really. I mean, yes, it's creating income over time for yourself, but you are providing an alternative investment that people who are normally only used to being in the stock market, which of course we've seen have its downs, especially over the last year. Those individuals are now able to see the opportunity to invest in other ways if they're if they're eligible, of course, for the particular raise that you're doing. But that is a really cool opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and also a service, like I said, I think that people are then served by you as you're overseeing the asset and growing that capital that they've put with you and entrusted with you. It's a trust. Okay. Now, if our listeners are interested in learning more about Formosa investing, about you, and about what you're doing, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can check out my website, formosainvesting.com. On
Okay.
there, they can also download a free ebook. It's about 20 pages long, very
Yeah.
short. It talks about basically just, my personal journey as a real estate investor, all the
Hmm.
mistakes I've made, and how
Okay.
overcoming these obstacles, provided this route for me to become a syndicator.
Oh, excellent. I think that's always great to read mistakes made by someone so that you hopefully aren't making them yourself. That's
Right,
great.
right,
Uh,
exactly. That's what I did most of my career in my first couple of jobs.
right, right. That's part of the learning process, but now you can help share that information with others.
Mhm,
Now,
mhm.
I have a question that I want to make sure that I ask because it's a guest question on all of my episodes.
Okay.
If you were to be handed $1 million today with no strings attached, what would you do with that as far as investing into yourself or your business?
Yeah, I would invest all of that money
Hmm.
into multiple syndication deals. Probably split that
Hmm.
into 10 different deals because
Okay.
each syndication would usually require anywhere between 50 to $100,000 minimum.
Yep. Okay.
And so if, with the network that I've built, I think having the deal flow is not an issue.
Hmm.
Right now it's raising capital is the hardest
Okay.
part. So that's what I would
Hmm.
do. But
Okay.
besides that, also invest in myself, continue to educate myself, buy a lot of books to read and also join mastermind groups, surround myself with like-minded
Yeah.
people. And so that's what I
Yes.
would do.
Yes. Yes. That is a key we didn't really hit on, but mentorship and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I think
Mhm.
that is always important in life and any successful journey that you're on. So I've heard it said more than once that if you look at the five people, it's like your network is your net worth. So the people that are surround you are those that you're going to be similar to or like or at kind of set that bar in some sense. So that's great.
Right.
Okay. So again, now formosainvesting.com and your email address once again.
Jim.lee,
Okay.
Lee, at formosainvesting.com.
Okay, perfect. So I would encourage people to get on, check out Jim's website, check out that free gift. You're going to learn some mistakes made by someone who's been there and done it already. That way you can avoid it. But if you want to work with somebody who's also a seasoned professional and working to continue to develop that skill set, and just learn from somebody, reach out to Jim. Reach out to him and find out a little bit more about what they're doing and some of their goals for the future. So, Jim, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Zach, for having me.
And also, may the best happen to you as you continue on this journey. I'm excited to hear how things progress.
Thanks.